Welcome to the Board of
Oh,
Education working
okay.
meeting, 12/17/2024 at 6 p.m. in the Wallace Central Office Building. 1, welcome and roll call. All board members are present. 2, approval of the agenda.
Also move.
Second.
Second, John. All in favor?
Aye.
5-0. 3, motion in accordance to KRS 61.810, parentheses 1, parentheses F, to go into executive session for discussions which might lead to the appointment, promotion, or other personnel action of individual employee, which may include a joint executive session with the superintendent screening committee.
I so move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 5-0.
move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
5-0. 5, action regarding subject matter to executive session. Need a motion.
So I would make a motion to approve the contract that will be attached to the minutes of the meeting. All right.
Yes, that's
Okay.
correct.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
5-0. Great. 6, principals report.
Good evening.
Well, hello.
Got all your shopping done?
My wife does that.
Okay. Yeah.
She even buys for herself. Okay, I've been asked to share a little bit of information about what's going on at the high school. So just the basics, and then if you have any questions at the end, I'll be happy to field whatever you got. Student attendance, we are up for month number 4. You can see each month that we go through, working towards the goal of 94% according to the district, and having those conversations with students about how important attendance is. We've taken what Mr. Bushelman shared for the protocol for absences. We added a little bit to that, trying to do some levels of intervention with those students. So when they hit 4, 7, and I believe it's 10 absences, we do an intervention meeting with them, with our youth service center administrators and our attendance secretary. Youth service center tries to field any needs that they might have that are barriers to them getting to school. Evidently, it seems to be working because we went up a couple percentage points. Staff attendance is right at 91%, just a tick above that, and that's all staff, including custodian, secretary, teachers. Discipline, we've had 270 referrals total up to this point this year. That is down from last year at this time. We had fewer referrals in the second 9 weeks than we did the first. There's a little highlight blurb of what they are, some of the interventions that we're working on. Tardy's classes are number 1, so we have upped the game, and every time a student gets a tardy, Mr. Callen is meeting with them, assigning the appropriate punishment for that according to our matrix of either after-school detention, lunch detention, or in-school suspension. And then that is also included, our tardies have cut down. For our THC and tobacco, it's down from where it was last year. Our counselors are doing interventions with them for a tobacco and THC education component. So when the student gets a suspension for THC, or when they get assigned ISS for tobacco use, they get a computer module that they have to work through, and then they have to complete that. Their in-school suspension continues until they do complete that work. The counselors meet with them and also discuss those things. Any student that has an out-of-school suspension upon returning that first day that they're back, they meet with, usually it's Mr. Callen or myself, and then one of the counselors, just to see if there's anything that we can do to help them as they transition back into school. We go through restorative processes just to make sure that there's no continuation of whatever the behavior was that got them in that state. Academic performance on the back, we have not run this 9 weeks numbers yet, but for first 9 weeks, there's the number of students per grade level that is failing 1, 2, 3 or more classes. We didn't have any students failing more than 4 classes, thank goodness. I've been told that that's a little bit less than what it was last year at the end of the first 9 weeks, so that's a positive. And then the big box at the bottom, that's the iReady data comparing the first testing window to the second testing window. So we just finished up our second testing window. So far, we've had across the board improvement in our number of students that is on grade level, and then also the reduction in number of students that are 2 or more grade levels below. We also had somewhat of a decrease in 1 grade level below also. So we're gonna take that as a win. It's not our goal of reducing our novice by half or our very lowest performing student numbers by half, but we think we're making progress in the right direction.
I think window 2 on math there, where we were 66% on grade level, was that a bad test, or what's, that one doesn't fit all the other numbers. 4th column underneath math.
Could very well be a typo.
10th grade.
10th grade window. Nope, the numbers add up to 100 or close to it. I think we're 101 there. But yeah, so that should be accurate. We had from students, what they said was a lot of them did not care the first go around that they took. They cared a little bit more this time, so a lot of that improvement that we see, I think, is related to that.
Effort.
it's students that would go up 200+ points. So that's multiple grade levels from where they had started. So I think that's some positive results. The discussions having with students about here's where we rank according to other schools in our area. You know, you get out you get out an equal amount for what you put in effort-wise. I think those conversations that teachers and administrators are having with kids are having a positive impact. I think that students are responding well, that they don't want to be where they are, ranked to our neighboring counties. So that's a positive in my opinion. If we can carry that through the KSA, that'll be even better. We are currently doing our senior defenses. Mr. Hargis, Mr. Arden, I don't remember seeing anybody else, but you all are more than welcome to attend tomorrow if you'd like to come see our seniors' exit interviews, senior defenses, where they're explaining to us what they have gained, 2 attributes that they've gained according to the Kentucky profile of a graduate, what their plan A and then their backup plan is for after they graduate, and how they've grown and developed during their time at Gallatin County. It's been fairly interesting and very positive overall experience, I think, for students and the people that have been able to sit in and witness it. And I think that's it, unless you have questions.
What are we doing about all the kids that are failing academic performance?
So every kid that is failing one class or more, I met with them, or Ms. Thompson, our counselor, one of us two met with them. We discussed ESS opportunities and what's going on with that class. We talked a lot about, is it skill or will? For a lot of students, it was just they weren't doing the work. That prompted us to start writing a policy or a plan for how to change that for next year. More of a standardized grading policy that will go into effect and make up categories and what grade percentages will count for what across the board.
Right, and SS is,
Extended school services.
Okay.
So basically tutoring every Tuesday and
Yeah.
Thursday.
back in the day, we called it ESS, so I didn't know it was SS. Nice, okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Thank you.
Thank you.
7, moving on to public comment. Anybody? 8, board member comments. I'd like to just start out real quick by announcing that Mr. Arden has agreed to the 4-year contract beginning July 1 as our superintendent, so we're super excited. So, 4 years. Looking for many, many years with you, so great job. Becky? Yeah. Exactly.
What do you say?
Can you sign a 13-year contract?
Let's see, couple things. So, really enjoyed last board meeting where we met with all the principals. We kind of had our own one-on-one time. So I felt like that was very productive. We could kind of discuss our own issues, appreciated their time. Second of all, Amanda, just want to thank you for being chairperson for the last couple of years.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so I refer to you as Judge Judy, but appreciate you keeping us on task and keeping everybody informed.
Thank you.
I know it's a job, so appreciate your work there. That's all.
Ashley? John?
No comments.
Hargis?
Madam Chair, yes, ma'am. Real quick, like I said, we was over at schools today doing them. I got a lot of excellent feedback from the seniors as they was leaving. One of the questions I asked them when they left, looking back on their high school years, what could we as a board do to improve over there? And that's the feedback I got from them. All of them mentioned the bathrooms, said they need clean, stall door was awful one. They said gym bathrooms was awful. One of the issues all of them agreed on was vaping. That they wish the board could do something about the vaping
Wish we could too.
and things over there. The other ones, feedback from them was the academics. They said that they felt like they go into class, information was just given to them, and that was it. Like, it was more of like a lecture, and that was it, that they didn't get a lot of good feedback and stuff. And it was very constructive criticism. Some of them was talking about individual work areas. They said they could go to libraries and things, but they wish they had an area over there where they could go and actually in peace do work and things. Something that majority of them talked about also was, they talked like this school year. They said it seemed to be the best as far as the teachers, students, that they can start seeing there's a lot more school pride here in Gallatin County this school year than it's been in the past. And they said that, and they wasn't slamming nobody, this was just input and stuff. They said, let's see here. They said the teachers and students this year seem to be getting along a lot better. They said they've learned more this year than they had previously in the high school. Another one, the subject material, teachers being more involved with the students. Something had come up over there today, something we may could look at adding, at the high school principal could look at adding, is public speaking class. A couple of them mentioned that they would like to have a public speaking class. Some of them said they'd like to see a wrestling team. Here's one that surprised me. Some of them, I asked them if they had home ec. They said they didn't have it no more and didn't know why. But they said if I could have something like crocheting and stuff like that over there is like extra. And ACT preps, that was talked about by a few of them. And that was about it. But they said that they felt like this year, they said before in the past, you would be like, yeah, I go to Gallatin County and that'd be it. You didn't want to talk about it. They said this year, a lot of the kids, beginning of the year, I guess you all, one of the things got feedback from some band members and some players. They really appreciated the uniforms. They said that brought up motivation a lot.
Yeah.
And they just felt that it was working a lot better this year than it had in the past.
Good information.
And then I'll get information from the ones tomorrow, and I'll send that to you all.
Good, thank you.
That's all I got for now, Madam Chair.
9, staff school reports. I'm gonna go to B, enrollment attendance report, Mr. Eddie Bushelman.
You have your report there, you can take a look at, no real big, nothing really big jumping out there. Calendar update, we kind of pushed that back to January, we have a committee formed, we'll send out notice about all that. We are waiting to see how the full board chairperson, how we are waiting to see what Carroll County is doing and see if that will impact the Early Technology Center. We just want to make sure that our calendar lines up, that our students have similar breaks and it doesn't impact us too much on different things. So that'll be coming, should come pretty quick into January, and that's really it for attendance. I do want to commend, I know I talked to Mr. Butler earlier this week, the attendance secretaries have been doing a real good job with the changes to attendance this year with state law and kind of being prompt and on top of things, and they've done a real good job with that, and I think that is kind of trickling down to student attendance. So I see some positives there and hope that it'll keep growing and then have good impacts on student life. Keep improving a little bit every day.
Refresh my memory again on what Carroll County's looking at.
They are considering the idea, and I don't know if it's even public yet, is it? I don't know.
Jake, is it public?
No, I don't believe it is.
Okay,
yet.
never mind. I withdraw the question. I withdraw the
Felt like a
question.
track, okay.
Thank you.
Anybody have any other questions? All right, C, CAO report, Mr. Tony Jerry.
In your materials, you should have I'm ready report that shows grades all the way through the 11th grade. Their window 1, how they scored compared to window 2. I haven't had a lot of time to compare it, to look at those. I know that every class is looking better. You're seeing less red and more green. That's good. One thing I wanted to do is pull up last year's window 2, and see where we compare to that. Haven't had a chance to do that yet. That's one thing I just wanted to see where we are compared to last year. There's a lot of different things we could do with these reports. We run a proficiency report, so if the kids tested this week, where would they be? How many was full proficient? What percentage? if they continue to grow at normal growth, what percent would they be proficient? Or if they hit a stretch goal, where would they be? And, that's all looking pretty good, but again, I wanna compare it to last year. So we don't have anything to compare it to. I don't know if we're doing better or not on iReady, but they are definitely growing from window one to window two. You can see that with this report. We're keeping up with our bi-weekly meetings with each building. It's an all-day event for Mr. Arden and I. We'll sit down in the morning with the school leadership team, and then go to their classrooms, and then in the afternoon, we sit down with a different school team, and we alternate that. So every week, we're doing that with school principals, leadership teams, and getting in classrooms. We keep a rolling agenda with that, so that if we ask a question or have a concern, it comes back up 2 weeks from now, because we want to know, we ask the hard questions like you guys do in the board meeting. What do you do with that grade report, with that failure report? What are you doing with those kids? What are you doing with kids that are on virtual? What are you doing with the kids that are 2 grade levels behind, and you're staying up with it, and we expect answers when we go back. They're hard questions, but principals and our leadership teams and our teachers are working really hard. Seeing a lot of things come together. I got to do a little bit more analyzing of KSA scores. I don't think we mentioned this at the last meeting, but one of our schools, the middle school, has shown progress the last 2-3 years. Probably ought to give a shout out to the upper elementary for the job they've been doing, so that the middle school can experience those growth scores. We didn't bring that out too much in the last time that we talked about it, but I think we're growing, and we're going to start seeing more and more of that. Also, we had one group score state average, and that was a 6th grade reading. So we made sure that we found that teacher that taught that last year. She's in the upper elementary this year. Just way to go, So that's pretty big. And other than that, I've been working on a grant that Mr. Arden put on. Have any questions? Fire away. Anytime, not just tonight. Calls, drop by and visit.
Anybody got anything?
Good information on diagnostics. I'd like to see that.
Thanks.
Thank you. 9D, Superintendent Report, Mr. David Barman.
So, start out, number one, the upper and lower elementary got an opportunity to go, see a show up at the Taft last week, and just thoroughly enjoyed themselves. You've got some examples of the thank you cards that I've gotten a lot. Some classes made some specific ones for the board as well. We've got them pinned up and displayed outside. So just really appreciate their excitement for the opportunity to go do that. And, thank you guys for just giving me the ability to help them with that. But kudos to, the people in the building that made it happen. It was a very quick turnaround to get that done. But, transportation for making it happen, it was a very tight window getting back, getting the buses turned around, back in the lineup to get everybody out and home on time. But everybody all the way through did such a great job with it. And just, I told a few of you, there were 4 second grade classes that came over and sang Jingle Bells for us today. I mean, they just dropped some of these things off. So they're so appreciative, and that just makes me smile. So, that has been a great thing in the last 2 weeks. Opportunities to attend the learning defenses today at the high school, those were good. We've got the holiday luncheon coming up with the upper and middle school this Friday, I believe. Jody, if I say the wrong date, just tell me. Also, a Friday morning, I believe in the afternoon as well, we have a community reading event at the lower elementary. So if anybody wants to come read to a class, they can sign up to do that. Tony went over the iReady data. We've reviewed that. We're going to continue to do some more comparisons, but we'll continue to dive into that. You have a copy of the grant that you know, Tony and everybody else has been kind of helping him what we can, but he is the main driver behind this. You know, when this first came out, a couple weeks ago, he was at a meeting down in Lexington. Somebody from Fayette County is sitting behind him, and they make a mention, oh, we'll get this to our grants team, and they'll work on this and get it out. My wife's on site base in Boone County. They made a decision over the weekend that they're going to apply for it, and so they're going to spend 3 days on it because they have enough people to be able to pull all that information together and do. It's been a skeleton crew. We've had 2 people from every building, Tony, myself, Miss Perkins, and Miss LeBlanc, all pulling together different parts of this, but the compilation of it is 99% Mr. Jury getting all this information put together. We're still not done. It's due at 4 p.m. tomorrow, so we'll get the finishing touches put on, and our goal is to have it submitted by noon. That way, we just make sure we don't miss a deadline, or it's a large document that it doesn't go through. But could be a game changer for our district for funding over the next 5 years to provide training and other things for our staff so that we can help our students learn better, and that's the goal. So that's why we had to step away from some things and dedicate so much time to it, but that's a copy of it, and like I said, it's not done. If you've got any, read through something and have a question or like to give some feedback, we need it before lunchtime tomorrow. So Thursday night from 5 to 7, we are, Miss Lewis has a event. She's reached out to homeschool families across the county to talk about how we can partner with them. Mr. Jury and myself are both going to be there, and that's just a part of our community we want to reach out to and show them ways that they can still continue the homeschool education that they want, but maybe also reap some benefits of the school system at the high school level in particular. So we've sent information out about that, so we're hopeful to see if we can't get a few families at least to show up so we can have some conversations with them on Thursday evening. And then we beat Owen County, at Owen County in basketball, so, and beat them pretty handily, I was told, so that's always a good thing.
Was there? It was a good thing.
So,
Thursday night meeting is at the high school?
it's at the Wildcat,
Okay,
so 5 to 7,
okay.
and that concludes my report.
Okay. Everybody get a chance to look at the SBDM agenda minutes and human resource action?
Yes.
Yes, I did.
Okay, moving on to 10, consent agenda. Any questions?
Make a motion to approve the consent items.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Uh-huh.
5-0. 11, recommended action, new business, discussion approval of the 2025 board meeting dates. Do we have any of those printed out or anything, or are we just going with second Tuesday? What
I printed the same, just with next year's dates.
is it on here?
No.
Really, Jody?
I didn't know if you would need it.
If you're gonna print a copy, if you could print me one as well, I would
Be here
appreciate
for
it.
that first one in February if you have one in the warmer climate.
Let's
One
discuss
day.
the dates, Jody, and not have them. While we're waiting on Jody. I know you've been running, was gonna ask you a little bit ago, but while we got some time here, the cleaning, where you at on your cleaning people?
So we're back up to 5 people in the evening, so I had a few more hired, still looking for one more. If there's anybody out there that is watching and interested, so.
So that should take care of the mice problem because they leave food on the floors over in the one.
Well, I think
Well, that's an
somebody
awful deep
Okay,
subject.
that's fine. I'll
had,
check it
had
out.
a conversation about that, so hopefully that gets
Okay.
cleaned up.
Sorry.
Other
Yeah.
Oh, no, I've got plenty of video and pictures from that night when I walked through. That was disgusting over there. They wanna complain about having a mice problem. Well, first off, clean the food off the floor.
Okay, so it's looking like this is still the second Tuesday for the first meeting?
Do we really need the January 7th?
That's the first Tuesday.
Yeah, no, I don't think we need that.
So we're gonna delete January 7th,
Correct.
okay?
Keep the 21st as the regular working, February 4th. When do we touch back up on the superintendent eval?
Not till like April, May, or well, March, April.
Does them dates work for your eval?
For the what?
Does them dates work for your evaluation?
May, yes, so April, we would start talking about it. For sure.
So I think we should keep the dates, do like we do, cancel if needed, but I did notice, on our spring break, we haven't had the calendar committee. I'm not looking at you, Hargis.
7 through 11.
Okay, I was about to say, so the first one hit, and then,
Did you say you hadn't met with your calendar committee? yet,
no,
Amanda?
so, let's see. October 7th could possibly be a fall break, not sure, but we can work on that.
So we can tentatively approve
Mhm.
the rest other than January 7th and then adjust as needed.
Correct.
Okay.
I think that's,
Is that your motion, Miss Becky?
Yes.
I second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Item, 11B, review approved proposal from Crawford and Baxter, PSC for legal representation for 2025 calendar year.
Who they sending to
Same.
represent
Did
us?
notice that
Same
was.
fee, no increase.
See, I was getting ready to say.
You were getting ready to say
I
what?
was gonna say I seen a price increase, but I know we didn't.
Yeah, it's not.
There's no doubt.
As long as you keep sending Christmas cards, I think
Right.
that's,
All right,
that's
that makes a
required.
difference. I'll
Okay.
tell
Who got a
Ruth
Christmas
that.
card?
Oh. Do I have a motion?
Yes.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
5-0.
Oh, no. Nah.
Item C, discussion approval to create coaching positions for freshman softball coach and freshman baseball coach. So the idea behind that, is to groom our middle school kids to start playing up and
Yes,
conditioning
it's
them.
essentially almost like a middle school team, but there were not officials if you had a middle school team. So this allows them to play as essentially high school freshmen and be able to get officials for their games.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
A motion.
Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
5-0. Item D, discussion approval increase the Gallatin County Sheriff Tax Collection Rate from 3.6 to 4.0. So
I'm
with
sure I
that,
moved the table.
table, perfect.
Can we say why we're tabling?
Because we asked for that, and we need to reiterate with them an itemized list of what their expenses were. I think we agreed on that with last year, or the year before,
Yeah, that's the
I say
statute
correctly.
requires that
Yeah.
they show their expenses.
the expenses, so they'll need to give us an expense report to review.
And, you know, I didn't know this was on here.
Madam Chair, I'm gonna withdraw my motion.
Okay.
I'm gonna amend my motion to table until we get the documents.
I will reach out to, the sheriff and the county attorney and send them the same, you know, the statute, and just tell them, look, you just need to justify your expenses. Instead of just tabling it and then, you know, waiting a month and nothing happening, so.
That's fine. All right, do I have a second?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
5-0, okay. Item E, discussion approval, purchase a new weight equipment for the Wildcat Academy.
So I gave everybody a list, and then you've got a packet of what is currently in the second room. We have one room that has weight equipment that our students can use, one room that has equipment that I believe was more purchased along the line for community members and other people, teachers to be able to use. It's treadmills and bikes and things of that nature. With just the competitiveness of high school sports now, when you think about, you know, player safety, students need the opportunity to train in order to grow, to develop, to be able to compete and be safe while they're doing that. And just not realizing this was even on there and having a conversation with our athletic director today, talking about trying to schedule all the teams that want to be in there. Right now, we have one room that is really only big enough for one team to be able to work out in. So if football and track and baseball and softball want to work out, that's a minimum of 4 hours of time that has to be allocated for them to do that, with an expense, for some of the equipment that is listed, which, again, this is just pulled retail off their website. I'm sure if I talked about, being a school, there might be some discounts and things we can get. So my hope would be that this number would come in lower than what it is. We can outfit that second room to where baseball and softball can now both work out at the same time. So now both teams can get an hour workout. When basketball's over, you've got boys basketball and girls basketball that can be in there at the same time. Even for football, with the numbers that they have, that one room is still really not big enough for 30 kids to work out in. So they would essentially need both rooms to be able to adequately work out. So I think this is a huge benefit to our students, and it gives us some things that give them, I have a son that trains all the time, and I pay money and have the ability to get him up to Newport to do some of these things. Our students here, that's an hour, and that's a lot for them to have somebody that has the ability to do that. This also gives us the ability to bring some of that here, so we can provide them with resources to things that other people in other communities have more at their disposal.
So all this is at the Wildcat Academy.
Correct.
The part that used to be more cardio, you're basically getting rid of.
So that, and you see, I had Troy Lawrence go over and look at it, kind of test it out, see what was wrong with some of the equipment in there. Some of it works, some of it needs minimal things, some of it, like there's a few treadmills, have belts that slip. I've never had an experience getting a treadmill repaired when it kind of gets to that point. I Googled the equipment and looked at it to see what some of the new or used cost best I could find was. That doesn't mean that's what you could essentially get for it. Some of it I do think we can keep. I would like to reallocate some of that, reorganize that weight room that's above the gym, look to make.
That's my next question.
Yeah, look.
Are we using that?
Not really. I think it's very cluttered up there and not laid out very well. But what I would like to do is reorganize that, take some of this equipment up there and make that the staff, equipment area that they can access. That way in the winter, if they want to get out and walk, they can walk around the upstairs of the gym and have that area to exercise and train. And then we can outfit those two rooms in the Wildcat to be very student-centered and made for team workouts.
Or is there still a health room in the gym? I guess one of my questions would be, why is it so cluttered?
Yeah.
Because like the original.
There's the one
thought process
upstairs.
There was that gym sports would use that, non-gym sports would use the one at the Wildcat Academy.
Yeah.
Which would
There's
somewhat take care of
the
some.
one to the right of if I'm facing going out of the gym where the elevator is, to the right of it is where all the weight equipment is.
Right.
I've been in there a few times. It's just, I think.
It's tight.
It's very tight. But I think we could reorganize that and create a better flow in there that would make it easier for people to get in and be able to use that.
Yeah, my question here would be, how many, it sounded like you've talked to the AD, have we talked with every coach to know what every coach thinks they need for their specific sport? Or is this driven by one or two sports?
This is really just driven by me in training for a lot of years, and just buying weight racks and things to just outfit a weight room. So I think they can be used by anybody. I know we do have, and you might know this, 2 Vertimaxes that are sitting around that aren't used, and I'd love to be able to get those back in use, because those are great, especially really for all sports, but basketball in particular. So I think just cleaning up some space to make sure that we've got access to let our kids be able to train and work out. We don't have a ton of space, but I do think we can use what we have better than what we, have laid out currently.
Okay, just to go back, driven by you, so if we haven't talked to our track coach, or we haven't talked to our baseball or softball coach to see if there's anything specifically they want.
I have not asked them specifically about what in the weight room. I've talked to them about the potential for doing this, and they have been, on board with that and the ability to make it easier to have access to the weight room. So really, there's not a lot on there that's much different than what's on one side. It's just replicating it on the other side.
Personally, I would like input from those people, just because I think there's the perception that every school only cares about football and basketball, and the rest of them just get whatever the leftovers are. Would you agree that's a perception? I think it would be good to at least get their input and see if there's anything we could get that would help their sport and their kids, because there are some different muscles that are being asked to be used throughout those things. Track's brand new. I mean, I don't even know,
Yes,
what would be required in some of those. So that would be my only question and thoughts. But I'm not against it. But
Yeah, no, I understand.
might want to broaden our scope a little bit.
I'd say, I'm not certainly against it, but I mean, your total equipment's 54. I know, but your total equipment's 54,000. That's gonna have to be bid. Your total. You're wanting to outfit a weight room. It costs 54,000, even though your individual equipment's coming in less. The totals exceed 54,000. You got to put that out to bid. So it's not, a bad thing necessarily. And as you pointed out earlier, you may get a better price, but legally you can't just go out and buy that. You need to put that out to bid. So, if they want to do it, they could, approve you putting it out to bid, or approve you talking to the coaches and then putting, a list
Madam
out
Chair,
to
I
bid.
move the table till he gets that information.
Okay, sure.
But I would also say this makes me nervous. So you just surplus.
You second that, John?
Do I have a second?
You have to be
I'll
an
second it.
itemized. If you just move it around inside the district,
All
you're
in
not
favor?
surplus. But
Correct.
before you actually-
That's a bad title for that.
Okay.
Somebody sent it to me that way.
Yeah. All right.
Thank
I'm done. I'm
All
done.
right, moving on to 11F. Enter into executive session for superintendent evaluation in accordance to KRS 61.810 parentheses 1 parentheses F and KRS 156.557 parentheses 6 parentheses C. Motion to go into executive session for preliminary discussion for superintendent's summative
I so
evaluation.
move.
I'll second.
election of board officers. Let's get a motion in a second and then have a discussion, right?
So I move to appoint or elect, I guess, Hargis as chairperson.
Second.
Right. Do I have to do those all individually, or we just go down the
Right.
line?
Well, typically they're done individually.
Really? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, 5-0. B, election board vice chair.
If y'all don't care, I think it'd be a good job for Miss Donovan in case I miss.
Second.
Great.
Aye.
Okay, aye.
All in favor? Aye.
And then C, election board treasurer. Would be a motion for Mary Jane, right?
Yep. I move.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Election of board secretary would be Mr. Arvin.
To
Motion.
clarify, it can be either your superintendent or your secretary. You have traditionally gone with
Oh,
superintendent.
Whatever.
Yep. So,
All right, Becky made a motion.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
I'll make a motion we adjourn.
All in
I'm
favor?
with you,
There we
John. I'm
go,
seconding that.
John, Hargis, all in favor? Aye.
Already there.
Look at
Nice
our
job.
glasses out.
That's right.
Merry
Ever sit and
Christmas.